Hey, welcome everybody. It's Robin here. Welcome to my channel, Oracle Rising. Thank you so much for being here and being part of the community. So today I'm going to talk about 6 signs that are indicative of your shadow work, your shadow self-integration, that they're successful. Okay, so for those of you that are not too familiar with the shadow self, this is what people might call, their darker half, their demons, their secret self that you don't like to show to other people. It is that part of you that might have gotten you through tough times. It could be the cold, steely part of you, sense of detachment. And for some reason, we have been taught to shun that. Okay, so as you go through your seasons of metamorphosis, as you rise in spirituality, as you have your spiritual awakening, going through your dark night of the soul, we start to understand that we must show love to both the light and the dark within us, because this is the balance of life. Where there is light, there is always dark. Everyone has a dark side. And some of us don't like to show that to other people. Okay, so, and least of all, a lot of people don't like to show their shadow self to themselves. But there comes a point in your life where you realize that without those traits, maybe you wouldn't have made it through the hardest times in your life, or you wouldn't have been able to make it through a very distinctly traumatic situation, or been able to cut people off in your life that no longer belong there. So there is a deep, sharp wisdom to the shadow self. And once that has been integrated, your life could change. So this does take a lot of intense self-awareness and self-acknowledgement to understand that I love my shadow as much as I love my light. So you're doing this work and you're recognizing, I wouldn't be standing here in this position in my life without the dark half of me, and welcoming it in as equally as you love the brightness in you. So I need a sip of water, guys. Hold on. Okay, so I did extensive research on 6 signs that shadow work is paying off. You're successful in integrating every aspect of yourself into one whole being of divinity. Okay, so the first one I have here is that guilty feelings related to self-care, they don't exist anymore. I'll just give you a couple of examples. I know somebody in my life that said to me recently, I didn't get new glasses for myself because I didn't feel like I deserved them. And I was like deeply perplexed about that and puzzled. And I felt an immediate rush of concern and empathy for them, because that is somebody that is still deep in the throes of a denial of shadow self. Okay. If you are in a position where you feel like, I don't deserve to relax, or, I don't deserve the best things in life. This is a denial of shadow self, and it is impacting your life in so many different ways. But when you feel like, I do deserve to live in the best environment, I deserve the best job, I deserve the best partner, I deserve to sit here and do nothing but maybe stare out the window, or just binge watch TV, or whatever it is that you want to indulge yourself in, whatever self-care looks like to you, and you feel good with it. Oh, I just wasted an entire day, but man, that was good for me, and my soul needed that. Okay, that is a sign that your shadow self is being accepted, and you just don't feel bad about doing whatever it takes to take care of yourself. Okay. You start to observe yourself with compassion. I can give you guys a couple of examples from my own personal life. Like, I used to look at things that I did growing up, or, and I was ashamed. Okay, so I think everybody goes through a period of life where you weren't too proud of the things that you've done, or you put yourself in situations that were just not very healthy emotionally, physically, or intellectually. But where I'm sitting right now, and I look back at how chaotic my life was for so many years because I had absolutely no awareness of who I was. My shadow self was right, like gripping the wheel. I was just completely in a state of darkness and chaos, okay? I used to be embarrassed about certain things that I had done or been through or allowed to happen. And now I kind of look back and go, oh, okay, yeah. And I extend empathy out to that person that I used to be and say, I wish I could have been stronger for you. You needed so much help and you were left alone. And you go back in time and kind of rescue yourself and say, I'm here for you now and everything is okay now. And you just don't feel embarrassed anymore. And you're like, okay, well, we went through that and everything is okay. And I love you. And, we'll just be stronger in the future. So you really look at yourself in a completely different light and just go, I'm sorry, I wish things could have been different. I wish everything love and light for you in every sort of version of yourself until you are here. Okay. So if you look back at yourself and you think, ugh, I'm so disgusted or I'm so embarrassed, that you could still be stuck in like a lack of shadow self integration because your shadow self got you through those rough times in your life the best way that it knew how. Okay. For me now, I really think of my shadow self as the protector because the light half of me was very weak. It was very dim. It was unaware. So shadow self stepped forward and sort of embraced the chaos and did the best that it could. And now I think, thank you for that. Thank you for getting me through that. Okay. So really think about that one. It's very powerful. Being okay with your imperfections. Nobody is perfect. Okay. So, and I know so many of you, and we've talked about this before. I've talked about body image. I've talked about how we compare ourselves to others, how we see ourselves as lacking in comparison to others. And now you can look at yourself and it's okay if I don't know that. It's okay if my body is not perfect according to whatever standard is available at the time. It's okay if I don't have enough money to do this. Everything's okay. I am perfectly imperfect. I'm beautiful. I am divine love and light. Who I am has really nothing to do with my exterior or my current circumstances. I'm here because this is a phase of my life that I need to experience. This is the body that my soul chose as a vehicle for this incarnation on earth, and I will do my best to honor it exactly where I am in this present moment. Where shadow self could step up in front of the mirror and go, ugh, look at that, what are you doing? And I used to be that way, you guys. I used to pick apart my body. It was just really, and comparing to other people, oh, they're doing so much better than me, they're smarter than me, they have more money, and just the constant nag. But when you really get into that space of shadow self integration, that dissipates because your shadow self feels love from you, okay? And it has no space to complain anymore. It walks with you 100% fully integrated. So, you just experience a different type of self-love at that point. The fourth one that I have here is that you become impervious to the opinion of others, okay? So we all learn about our imperfections from other people, okay? Very few of us grow up with this inner dialogue that, you're not enough, okay? So people can come at you now in your position of power with shadow self-integration, and you're like, you see it for what it is. You see that it's a reflection of their own lack of integration. It is their own lack of spirituality, their own lack of confidence, and they're spouting it at you. So you're like, you recognize that, and you're like, okay, well, I really wish you well on your journey, okay? Because what other people's opinion of you is none of your business. You shouldn't care, because people, they say the things to other people that they're not ready to say to themselves, okay? So really look at it that way the next time somebody comes up and says, well, I don't think you should be wearing that, or I don't think you should be doing that job, or what are you doing with that person? It's your journey, and their comments being externalized show their lack of readiness to dive into their own. So when you start to recognize that and send empathy, that is very powerful as a moment in your life, especially if other people's opinion used to really matter to you, and you would take it to heart and it would shatter you, and you would just like rock back and forth in the corner, or maybe sit in the shower and cry because somebody said they didn't like your shoes, you know. So really, that again, a very powerful moment. You become impervious to the opinion of others, where you can just sit back and say, thank you. Instead of like, oh, you know, there's a huge difference there. So the fifth point I have for you guys is you become deeply committed to your own growth, okay? You understand that life is not a competition. Your journey is to just be a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday, okay? Like, how can I increase my whatever it is that you're trying to achieve? You know, I'd like to be a little bit more fit or stronger or connected to my guides. I'd like to have deeper bonds with my family. What everybody else is doing doesn't matter anymore, because you're here on a journey of self-improvement, of expanded spiritual awareness, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, whatever your goals are in your life, you're completely dedicated to them. And it's okay. You don't have those guilty feelings if you feel like you need to take a break, that I was talking about in point number 1. So the sixth one that I have here, and this one is really beautiful, is that you really start to enjoy life more and create fun and fulfilling experiences. So this is where you just get to laugh at the little things. You know, you can be alone and it's okay. If you want to have a dance party, you just throw on the music. You have fun with yourself. You can self-entertain. You just, like, I'm going to do something that inspires me. And you create these little experiences of joy for yourself without waiting for somebody to provide it for you, okay? So I think that's a really important one too, especially a lot of us are on our own path right now. We don't really resonate with the majority of people because of a spiritual awakening coming out of the dark night of the soul. So we're not relying on other people to be responsible for our happiness and joy. We create it for ourselves. And that is such a moment of massive growth as well, you guys. So experiencing any one of these signs is like such growth in your shadow self path. Just saying, like, I love that darkness in myself. It really rescued me in times of trauma. The way that I can be like super cold about somebody, you know, create and hold your boundaries, create and hold space for yourself, and just really relax into your life and enjoy it. Like, no matter what else is going on, no matter who else is available to you, because you are everything within yourself. You are the universe expressing itself in this body, in this experience of love and light. So you guys, I just wanted to send you love and many blessings. Let me know down below in the comments which one of these points really connected with you, as like, oh, maybe you had an aha moment. Like, I am growing. You know, for ourselves, recognizing this growth might not be super discernible until you might read about it or hear about it in one of my videos that I'm doing. So wherever you are on your path, you guys, I just wanted to send you love and many blessings, and I love you guys so much. So take care, and I'll see you back here another time. Bye for now. Bye.